Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're talking about how you can play a song by Imagine Dragons called Monster. And we end up capoing this on first fret to play along with the recording. There's some cool little background licks through the intro where you can play third on the high E string, and then open E, and then second fret on the high E, and then third fret on the B string. So you're kind of playing a G note, and then an E note, and then an F sharp, and then a D, and if you wanted to, you could kind of play in bass notes to kind of imply some of the chords coming up. Where you could play open E with that third fret on the high E string, and then you could play the low E string on the third fret with the open E, and then second fret on the high E with the open D, and then third fret on the B string with the open A. And I'm doing that hybrid picking, so I'm kind of playing the open E or with the pick, and using my finger to kind of play the other notes around it. So I got 3 and open, open and 2, open and 3, open and 3, 3 and open and 2, open and 3. So you may want to kind of play around with that for the intro. And then from there, the chords that would kind of back up that lick would start on an E minor chord. And we play E minor. First finger goes the A on the second fret, second finger goes the D on the second fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds like E minor chord. It sounds really, really sad. Now another E minor you might want to think about through the song though is something called E minor 7, where you take the E minor, take your third finger and kind of add them in on the B string third fret, pinky on the high E string third fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds something called E minor 7. And then from the E minor, we're going to be going to a G major chord. When we play G major, first finger goes the A on the second fret, second finger on the low E string on the third fret, and third finger on the high E string on the third fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord. It sounds really, really happy. Now another G major you may want to think about using is kind of taking first finger on the A string second fret, second finger on the low E string third, and taking the third finger and going to the B string on the third fret, and the pinky on the high E string on the third fret. And if you strum all those together, that's another way you could play the G major, so you may want to think about using that G. And then from the G, we're going to be going to a D major chord. When we play D major, first finger goes the G on the second fret, second finger on the high E on the second fret, and third finger on the B string on the third fret. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D major chord, and it sounds really happy. And then from the D major, we're going to be going to an A major chord. When we play A major, first finger goes the D on the second fret, second finger on the G on the second fret, and third finger on the B string on the third fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds like A major, and it sounds really happy. Now another A that you may want to think about is something called A7 sus, where you do first finger on the D string second, second finger on the G string second, third finger on the B string third, and the pinky on the high E string third. And if you strum the A string and the high E string, that gives you your clearest sound of that. And that way you could actually kind of hold on to that third finger through that whole progression of E minor, G, D, A. Now a lot of times with a song like this though, to make it more interesting, I like adding something called a strum pattern. And one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So take the E minor, just tried that a lot. You'd have down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Now one way to work our verse chorus progression is to kind of do a down, down, up on each chord and kind of half that strum pattern. So you can do E minor with a down, down, up, G with a down, down, D with a down, down, up, A with a down, down, up, E minor, down, down, up, G, down, down, up, D, down, down, up, A, down, down, up. Now another way you could kind of work it is doing a down, down on the first chord, and then go to up, down, up on the next chord, kind of split the strum pattern that way. So you have E minor with a down, down, G on the up, down, D on the down, down, A on the up, down, up, E minor on the down, down, G on the up, down, D on the down, down, A on the up, down, up, E minor down, down, G on the up, down, D on the down, down, A on the up, down, E minor down, down, G on the up, down, D on the down, down, A on the up, down, up. Now another strum pattern that would work, and what it really kind of sounds like in the guitar part, is something called a 16th note strum pattern. And what I mean by that is right now, if you're kind of tapping your foot to the beat, we're kind of dividing that into 2 parts with our down, down, up, down, up. So 1, 2, 1, 2, and that's called an 8th note. What a 16th note is where you divide that foot tap into 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one of my favorite 16th note strum patterns is long down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. And what I mean by that is if you take the E minor and do it down for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's what you're doing on the first beat. Then on the second beat, you're doing it down on 1, down on 3, up on 4. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, beat, you're doing an up on 2, down on 3. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, up, down, 1, up, down. And then on the last beat, you're going down, up, down, up, right along with the 1, 2, 3, 4. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So all together, you got down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. So we're going to try our verse chorus that way. The weird part is you can do the E minor with the down, 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 up, and then hit the G for the down, down, up, down, up. And then we can kind of do that same thing for the D to the A. D down, 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 up, A down, down, up, down, up. So you got E minor down, 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 up, G down, down, up, down, D down, 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 up, A down, down, up, down, E minor down, 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 up, G down, down, up, down, D down, 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 up, A down, down, up, down, E minor down, 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 up, G down, down, up, down, D down, 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 up, A down, down, up, down, up. Now one weird thing is there are a couple spots through the song though where you kind of do the E minor G and then there's almost kind of a stop time or a hit on D. And you may want to do kind of a down kill it kind of idea, and I'm kind of doing it down and kind of throwing my hand at the strings. Or you may want to kind of work that as kind of a double down. Like down, down, kill it, down, down, kill it. And then when we get to our bridge, it almost sounds like we just kind of do long downs on our chords. And there's part of it where it actually sounds like the piano part, where it's something called arpeggios of the chord, where you kind of take the chord and kind of break it up. So you might want to think about trying some individual strings through that if you're kind of designing how you're going to cover the song. Now the weird part is to play along with Imagine Dragons. Instead of starting on an E minor chord, they're actually starting on an F minor chord. So to play along with the recording, what you want to do is take a capo, and if you put the capo on first fret, then now your E minor is really an F minor, your G major is really an A flat major, your D is really an E flat major, and your A is really a B flat. So if we took it from the very beginning, you could kind of still work those kind of opening licks if you wanted to, kind of around and applying those chords with the bass notes, or you could even just use the single notes. Could be kind of a cool idea too. So that might be an interesting way to kind of open up the tune. And then from there, then we could do our strumming, and we could do just the down, down up on each chord, and we'd have E minor down, down up G down, down up D down, down up A down, down up E minor down, down up G down, down up D down, and down up A down, down up. Or we could split our strum pattern and have the E minor with the down, down G on the up, down up D on the down, down A on the up, down E minor down, down G on the up, down up D on the down, down A on the up, down, up. Or we could try that with our 16th pattern, have the E minor down, 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 up, G down, down, up, down, D down, 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 up, A down, down, up, down, E minor down, 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 up, G down, down, up, down, D down, 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 up, A down, down, up, down, E minor down, 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 up, G down, up, down, D down, 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 up, A down, up, down. You just want to watch out for where we kind of got those hits for the D. Might be kind of cool. And then for the bridge, you got kind of those long downs. It's kind of another option to kind of work through the tune. Or you could try the arpeggios where you just play single strings of the chords. Could be kind of another cool way to mix it up. Now one other thing you may want to try adding to it is bass notes. And a lot of times on that first down of the down, down, up, down, up, you could throw in a bass note for the chord. So on the E minor, the low E string would be your bass, and you can kind of work it as a bass. Down, up, down. Then on the G chord, you have the low E string for your bass. The G bass, down, down, low E bass, down, down. And then on the D chord, you'd have the D string for your bass. D bass, down, down. And then on the A, you'd have the A string for your bass. So one way to work it through it is to kind of go a bass down up on each chord. Then you have E minor with the bass. Down up G with the low E bass, down up D with the D bass, down up A with an A bass, down up E minor with the low E bass, down up G with the low E bass, down up D with the D bass, down up A with an A bass, down up. Or you can kind of work it with that bass down on the first chord, up, down, up on the second chord. And you have E minor on the bass, down G on the up, down D with the D bass, down A on the up, down E minor with the low E bass, down G on the up, down D with the D bass, down A on the up, down E minor with the low E bass, down G on the down D with the D bass, down A on the up, down, up. Or you could try your 16th pattern and kind of add basses to that. And you could do a bass down, down, up, down, down, up, down, or a bass, bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, or a bass, bass, down, down, up, bass, down, up, down. Very cool variations. So we tried adding basses with the 16th, you'd have E minor with the bass, bass, down, down, G bass, down, up, down, D with the bass, bass, down, down, up, A bass, down, up, down, E minor bass, bass, down, down, up, G bass, down, up, down, D bass, bass, down, down, up, A bass, E minor Louis bass, G Louis bass, D Louis bass, A with an A bass, E minor Louis bass, G Louis bass, D D bass, A with an A bass, E minor, G D. Now randomly there's also this cool little solo that turns up later on where you could play 8th fret on the high E string, and then 11th fret on the high E string, and then 8th fret on the B string, and then 8th fret on the high E string. So you might want to kind of play around with those notes too, especially if you're kind of thinking about kind of playing lead guitar behind somebody. Hey. But for the most part, we're just going to be repeating that one progression through the whole song. So that's the basics of how you could strum through Monster by Imagine Dragons. So good luck!